My beloved child, something has already begun to change behind the scenes, and the sweetest part is this: you may not even realize how close the surprise is. Your soulmate has been thinking about you in a way that is deeper than words can explain. There is something they have quietly prepared, something connected to a moment you once wished for, and the reason they have kept it hidden is because they want to see your genuine reaction. Don't skip, because what happened recently gave them the final reason to stop waiting. A simple memory suddenly came back to them, and it changed their entire mood. They remembered your kindness, your patience, and one particular moment when you stayed strong even though you felt overlooked. That memory touched something inside them. And now, they are not simply thinking about you, they are planning something. But here is where the story becomes unexpected. Your soulmate has realized that the biggest surprise cannot be something expensive or impressive. It has to mean something. They have been looking for a way to create a moment that makes you feel truly seen. Something small on the outside, but unforgettable on the inside. Stay till the end, because there is one detail about this surprise that you would never expect. They may have already chosen the words they want to say when the moment arrives. They may have even rehearsed the conversation in their mind. And every time they imagine your reaction, they hesitate for a second, not because they are unsure about you, but because they care so much about getting this moment right. Something huge is waiting for you, and it may arrive in a form so simple that you almost miss its meaning at first. And there is one more piece to this story that changes everything. Your soulmate has been connecting several little details from your past, and suddenly those details are pointing toward one beautiful realization: they do not want another ordinary moment with you. They want to give you a memory you will carry for years. That is why their silence has felt different. That is why their energy seems harder to understand. They are holding something back, but not because they want distance. They are holding it back because the timing matters. The sweetest surprise may begin with a single message, an unexpected appearance, a familiar place, or words you never thought you would hear from them. And when it finally happens, you may realize that the waiting was part of the story all along. Part 2: there is a moment your soulmate keeps replaying in their mind, and that moment is the hidden key to everything they are about to do. My beloved child, they suddenly understood that you were never asking for something extraordinary, you were simply hoping to feel chosen, remembered, and appreciated. That realization hit them harder than expected. So instead of making another ordinary promise, they started thinking about a gesture that would speak without needing a long explanation. Don't skip, because this is where the surprise begins to take a completely different shape. They have been quietly arranging something connected to a memory you both share, and the closer they get to making it happen, the more emotional they become. They want the moment to feel natural, almost accidental, while secretly knowing every little detail has been carefully considered. And now comes the part they have not told you. There is something they want to place in your hands, say to you, or reveal at exactly the right moment. It may look simple at first, but behind it is a message they have been carrying for much longer than you realize. Stay till the end, because the sweetest revelation is not actually the surprise itself, it is the reason they chose it specifically for you. They want you to understand that they notice things you thought nobody noticed. The little sacrifices. The quiet support. The moments when you smiled even when your heart needed reassurance. Your soulmate has been collecting these memories, and now they want to turn one of them into something unforgettable. Something huge is waiting for you, and the closer this moment gets, the harder it becomes for them to keep the secret. But there is still one final piece missing, and this is the piece that could make the entire moment feel almost unreal. Your soulmate has realized that the best surprise is not about making you speechless, it is about finally making you feel safe enough to believe what their actions have been trying to say. They want to look at you and let the moment speak for itself. No complicated explanation. No dramatic performance. Just one sincere gesture that tells you, "I remembered." And when you finally understand why they chose that exact moment, you may look back at everything that happened before it and realize that the signs were there all along. The waiting was not empty. The silence was not meaningless. Something beautiful was quietly being prepared, and you are much closer to discovering it than you think. Part 3. My beloved child, the silence is about to break in a way you never expected. Your soulmate has reached a point where keeping this beautiful intention hidden feels almost impossible. Something happened recently that made them realize they could no longer keep postponing the moment. They saw something, heard something, or remembered something connected to you, and suddenly the entire plan became real in their mind. Don't skip, because the next detail reveals why this surprise carries so much emotion. They are not trying to impress you, they are trying to reach your heart. They want you to understand that while you were wondering whether they truly noticed you, they were quietly paying attention to everything. What makes this even more powerful is that the surprise may arrive when you least expect anything from them. You could be having an ordinary day, thinking about completely different things, when something familiar suddenly appears in front of you. A message. A place. A small gift. A carefully chosen sentence. And for a moment, you may not understand why it matters so much. Then the connection will become clear. Stay till the end, because there is a hidden meaning behind this gesture that your soulmate has been carrying quietly. They want to give you something that reminds you of the beginning, while also showing you that their feelings have changed in a deeper way. This is not simply about creating a sweet moment. It is about rewriting a memory that once felt incomplete. And here is the part that may leave you completely speechless. Your soulmate has been imagining your reaction before the surprise even happens. They picture your expression, your smile, and that moment when you finally realize what they have done. They know you may initially ask, "Why did you do this?" But the answer is much more meaningful than you expect. They want you to know that you mattered during moments when you thought you were forgotten. Something huge is waiting for you, and when the truth finally reaches you, you may realize that the surprise was never really about the object, the location, or the timing. It was about one unforgettable message hidden inside it: "I remembered you. I chose this for you. And I wanted you to feel it." The moment is getting closer, and the sweetest part of the story has not even arrived yet. Part 4. My beloved child, there is a quiet decision being made right now that could turn an ordinary moment into one you remember for a very long time. Your soulmate has been holding on to one particular idea, but something changed recently. They realized that waiting for the perfect moment was only giving them another reason to postpone what their heart was already ready to express. So they made a decision. This time, they would let their actions speak first. Don't skip, because the smallest detail in this plan may be the one that touches you the deepest. They are thinking about your preferences, your memories, the things that make you smile, and even something you once mentioned casually that you probably assumed they had forgotten. They remembered. That is what makes this surprise different. There is also an emotional reason behind their choice that they have not fully explained. They know there were moments when you wondered whether you were truly important to them. Maybe their silence created questions. Maybe their distance made you doubt what they felt. But instead of giving you another explanation, they want to show you something undeniable through a thoughtful gesture. Stay till the end, because this is where the surprise becomes more personal than you expect. They are not preparing something random. They are connecting it to a memory that belongs to the two of you. When you recognize that connection, you may suddenly understand why they were so quiet. Something huge is waiting for you, but it may arrive disguised as something incredibly simple. And then comes the moment they have imagined again and again. They see themselves standing in front of you, watching your expression change as the meaning finally reaches you. They want to say something they have struggled to express properly before, something that begins with honesty rather than perfection. Their surprise is meant to tell you that you were never just a passing thought. You were part of the memories they kept returning to, even when life became busy and confusing. And when the moment finally arrives, the sweetest part may not be what they give you at all. It may be the look in their eyes when you realize they remembered the smallest detail about you. That is when everything will suddenly make sense, and you may realize that the surprise was being prepared long before you ever knew it was coming. Part 5. My beloved child, the moment is getting closer, but there is one final emotion your soulmate has been trying to understand before making their move. They keep asking themselves one question: what would make this moment truly unforgettable for them? And the answer did not come from something expensive or complicated. It came from a memory. Something connected to you suddenly became meaningful again, and that memory gave them an idea they could not ignore. Don't skip, because this is the detail that makes their surprise different from anything they have done before. They are not simply preparing something to make you smile for a few minutes. They want to create a moment that quietly says, "I know you. I remember you. And I never stopped caring about the little things that matter to you." But there is something else happening beneath the surface. Your soulmate has been imagining what they will say when they finally reveal everything. They have started the conversation in their minds several times, only to stop and change the words. Not because they have nothing to say, but because they have too much. There are feelings they want to express without making the moment complicated. Stay till the end, because the sentence they are holding back may explain why this surprise means so much. They want you to know that some of your smallest actions stayed with them longer than you realized. A simple kindness. A moment of patience. A look that told them they were understood. Those memories became precious to them, and now they want to give something back. And here is where the story takes its sweetest turn. Your soulmate is beginning to understand that the greatest surprise will be seeing you realize how deeply you have been noticed. Imagine the moment, everything seems completely normal, and then suddenly one familiar detail appears. At first, you may not understand. Then you recognize it. Your expression changes. You look at them, and they already know you have figured it out. Something huge is waiting for you, but the real revelation may be even more beautiful than the surprise itself. It is the realization that someone remembered what you thought had been forgotten. Someone listened when you thought nobody was listening. Someone kept a small piece of your story close to their heart, and now they are finally ready to show you. Part 6. My beloved child, there is a moment approaching that your soulmate has already imagined countless times, and every time they picture it, the same thought returns: I hope they understand why I did this. That sentence reveals more than the surprise itself. They are not trying to create a temporary reaction, they want to give you a memory filled with meaning. Something from your shared past has become the inspiration behind their next move, and they have been quietly connecting the pieces. Don't skip, because one tiny detail could reveal the entire reason behind what they are preparing. You may have completely forgotten something you once said, but they did not. They remembered your words, your expression, and even the feelings surrounding that moment. Now they want to turn that forgotten detail into something beautiful. There is a reason their behavior may have seemed slightly different lately. They have been trying to protect the surprise while also fighting the urge to tell you everything. They may have almost revealed it more than once, then changed the subject at the last second. They know that if they tell you too early, the magic disappears. So they are choosing patience. Stay till the end, because the next stage is when their quiet planning becomes an actual moment between you. The surprise may begin with something incredibly ordinary, but then one sentence will change everything. You will suddenly realize that this was not spontaneous at all. They thought about you before making every choice. They wanted the details to feel personal because they know your heart responds to sincerity, not empty gestures. And now comes the part your soulmate may never have expected themselves. While preparing this surprise for you, they discovered something about their own feelings. They realized that making you happy has become deeply important to them. Your smile has become something they look forward to, and seeing your reaction may mean more to them than the surprise itself. Something huge is waiting for you, and when that moment finally arrives, you may understand why they kept everything so carefully hidden. The greatest gift will not be what appears in front of you. It will be the realization that someone took the time to remember the details you thought were insignificant. And when they finally look at you and reveal the truth behind it all, the moment may feel strangely familiar, as though your heart had been waiting for exactly this kind of surprise. Part 7. My beloved child, this is the moment when the hidden pieces finally begin coming together. Your soulmate has reached the point where the surprise is no longer just an idea in their mind, it is becoming a real moment they can almost see happening. They have imagined your reaction, your smile, and that instant when you finally understand why every little detail was chosen. Don't skip, because the sweetest part is not what they are preparing, but what they want you to feel when you receive it. They want you to feel remembered in a way that words alone could never accomplish. Something they once considered ordinary has suddenly become deeply meaningful because it reminds them of you, and now they are determined to turn that memory into something you will never forget. There is also one unexpected detail they have been keeping completely to themselves. They are not planning this surprise only because they want to make you happy. They want to create a new memory that can replace an old moment of uncertainty. They want you to look back later and realize that while you were wondering what was happening, they were quietly preparing something beautiful. Stay till the end, because the timing of this moment may be completely different from what you imagine. It could happen during an ordinary conversation, on an ordinary day, when you have stopped expecting anything at all. Then suddenly, one familiar detail will appear, and everything will click. You will understand why certain questions were asked, why certain things were remembered, and why your soulmate seemed unusually thoughtful. And when the surprise finally happens, there may be a few seconds where neither of you says anything. You will simply look at them, trying to process what they have done, while they wait to see whether you understand the message hidden inside it. Something huge is waiting for you, and the real revelation is this: they want you to know that your presence has left an impression much deeper than you ever realized. They remembered the details you thought were insignificant. They held on to moments you thought had disappeared. And now they are turning those memories into one sincere gesture designed specifically for you. When you finally see the full picture, you may realize the sweetest surprise was never about creating a spectacular scene. It was about showing you, through one unforgettable moment, that you were worth remembering all along.